So I wanted to bring up something that I wrote on Daniela Pineda's Life's Harsh Lessons. And I wrote this on the latinoslant.com. So I wanted to I think it was worth bringing up. How's that?
Cool.
Great. You can catch us on the latinoslant.com. While promoting her latest film, The Accountant 2, Chicana actress comedian Daniela Pineda gave some perspective to past controversies surrounding Cowboy Bebop. Speaking to the direct, Pineda has also received a lot of backlash following Cowboy Bebop release and wanted to clarify a video she made poking fun at herself, which was interpreted incorrectly by some audience members online. I wanted to clarify something. So years ago, when the franchise came out on Netflix, I was shooting a movie in Puerto Rico, and I was goofing off, and I made some. I'm not used to anyone watching my videos, and I made this dumb video, kind of joke, poking fun of myself because I was getting all these DMs from people saying like, "You're terrible, you're fat, go away," just like awful, awful messages. She goes on to say, so I just made this like on a whim Instagram story, just joking about the facts that like, sorry guys, I'm cast. Sorry, I was cast. And I used the word fans, what I meant to say trolls. And then it caught wind and everybody was like, she's hating on the fans. And I was like, this is getting lost in translation. I'm responding to trolls, not fans. And it really got swept away. And I just had to put it out there. So what are your thoughts there really fast before I go on there, Fletcher?
Yeah, I did. I think she had like a something about this, and
Mhm.
I think a lot of people took it as it's not real like a real apology thing. It was like she
Mm,
meant what she meant. Because
mm,
I think she kind of doubled down, I guess, on it and a
mm.
later thing. So it was like, it was her. The criticism was that the people that like the outfit of the original character, which is really revealing. It's almost like a femme fatale character, and it's a skimpy outfit. It's anime. A lot of anime has exaggerated skimpy outfits for women. Um, but the character kind of supersedes that in her attitude. So I think a lot of people thought that that was directed at them, whether it's
Uh-huh.
whether they accept it or not. I know for a good and fact they didn't accept it
Hmm.
because they trashed the show left and right and blamed her as one of the reasons for it. Although the show didn't, it was it did a poor job altogether. But I think she got the biggest blunt of it.
Okay, so yeah, obviously that was a big thing, right? I remember that we talked about it, but these new sentiments are not new, are new, but they're the same sentiments as far as apologizing, or in her, what is to her copying to it that she said 2 years ago, and we covered that as well. And she quote unquote was her biggest regret ever. There's that video. I don't want to play the video over again. I'm just letting you know this is not new. She's been consistent in like, you know what? I messed up. But I think a lot of times people want an apology how they want it. Okay, this is what you should say to the fans. It's like, you know what? When do we ever get that? When do we ever get that? This is what this person said 2 years ago, last year, and then recently. I to me, it's like cool. Let's move on. She doesn't. She I. This all started with her body type not being that of the character, and people going after her body type. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna poke some fun. But it didn't land. Again, it just didn't land. And she was working on a movie, so she probably was even more out of sorts. Where it's like, you know what, you just shouldn't have done it. So that is one part of this thing. Any thoughts before I go on?
No, no, you know, I, I can see what she was trying to get at.
Okay, all right. So now we move on because I remember when this happened because I live in LA, because the fires were just devastated swaths of communities. All right. Also, harsh life lessons can strengthen and grow one's character, as Daniela lost her house and almost her life in the LA fires this past January. In her Instagram posts, they speak for themselves. This is from a post, not a story that went away, a post that is still up today. She says, the neighbor who banged on my door to save my life, I know did not vote for my party. I know who he voted for. That man still saved my life. Divisive politics seem pretty fucking stupid when it's life or death. Bless that man. And she went on to share her home being devastated, being lost. She lost everything. This is just this past January. The accountant who really, and then I wrote a synopsis of the film. I I I put this out because when I saw this new apology, I'm like, you know what? I think this woman has done some growing up because she's been through some shit. She's been through, I mean, she lost everything here. And she was very honest and she would share it on Instagram and she shared it on her stories. I thought this was a story that went away, you know, like the stories that go away.
Yeah.
So I was like surprised that, oh, this is a post she put up. She actually kept this post. And I think it speaks to the better angels of our nature in regards to, doesn't matter, you know, like this was life and death. She went through life and death, man. She would have died because that fire went through so fast in that neighborhood. She had seconds to get out. And I think it's good that these actors share this. Share this. And if you see her comedy and other things, you get her sense of humor. Like if you pay attention to her to her posts, you get kind of like her sarcastic sense of humor.
Right.
So that's one thing, right? But it's good to see these actors putting this out there. We need more of this. We don't need, hey, I'm not saying we need more people, you know, losing everything, almost their lives. I'm just saying, look, you know, these are good stories to share because, man, you know, all we hear is that, like, you know, one side vilifying the other no matter what. Fletch.
Right.